Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time you've seen me and you've not seen me before, hi, I'm Shelley. I'm a singer and I have lots of covers up, so if you haven't yet, please go check them out and don't forget to subscribe. It would mean the absolute world to me. But today I'm doing a video that's been so requested. It's crazy how requested it's been. It is going to be a really long video, so have a chill out, get a snack, I don't know, just be prepared because I'm going to be explaining everything you've all been asking. So I did one of these videos when I was pretty new to YouTube. It was about 2 years ago now, which is mental. I uploaded it when I had about 200 subscribers, which is crazy to think how far I've come since then, and thank you all so much. But yeah, I uploaded it back then and it had so many views. I can't even get my head around it, to be honest. Yeah, it's really embarrassing, it's really old, I talk really slow because I'm not used to talking in front of a camera. Hopefully I've improved a little bit since then, but we've all got to start somewhere, right? But I'm still getting comments and views daily asking me questions and asking me for advice, so I thought rather than keep going over the same topic over and over again on that video, I would just make a brand new one with tutorials, like little cutaways. And let me just say, I wish I had the time to respond to you all individually and take you step by step and like take videos step by step for each of you individually, but that's just not possible. I wish it was, but yeah, hopefully by putting a lot of time and effort into this video, I will be able to help you all out. I'm so sorry, I've got that horrible flu that won't go away, so if I sound like a frog, that's why. And sorry to stop again, I know I keep going on, but I just wanted to say I'm not saying this is the way to do it, it's just the way that works for me and the way that I get a lot of questions about, so yeah, hopefully it helps you guys out. So first of all, I'm just going to go through all of the equipment that I use. I've got everything listed on my phone, so if I keep looking down, that's why. I just don't want to miss anything out. So the microwave what? So the microphone that I tend to use on my channel and the one that I get the most questions about is this one. It is the Blue Yeti, and this is definitely the microphone that I'd recommend if you're starting out and you want to get into covers, just because it's so cheap for a microphone considering like how expensive they can be, and it's so easy to use and it's great quality too. I think when I got it, it was just under £100. It could be slightly up or slightly down now depending on where you get it from and whereabouts in the world that you live, but I will try and link everything down below so that you can find it really easily. It's definitely one of the cheaper ones out there, not cheap by any means, but as microphones go, it's definitely one of the cheaper ones. And like I said, it's definitely something I'd recommend if you're looking for something on the affordable side, but something that you're still going to get great quality audio from. And if you figure out how to use it and you get used to it and your voice, because obviously the way that your voice is going to impact how the mic works. It's not a magic thing, it's not going to make you sound like an angel if you don't have the technique to use it. Like if you're going to be belting higher, you need to go further away from the mic. If you're being quieter, closer to the mic, all things like that. But yeah, it is going to get crackly if you're really loud right in front of it with the gain up high. So with this microphone, you have a mute button right here. That is not where the mute button is. You have a mute button right here, and the volume thing right here controls what you hear in your headphones, which you can plug in just here. So basically you can listen to your instrumental and your voice as you're recording. That way it doesn't interfere with the actual audio that you're recording. And then you have the gain here, which is basically what you're getting from it. So the higher you turn it, the stronger the sound that you're recording is going to be. I like to keep it quite low because, like I said, the mic can get quite crackly. And then this is the pattern, so you can have like stereo, solo, duo, and the mic like works depending on whether you have an instrument or you're a solo or you're a duet or a band or anything like that, which is really handy. I just keep it on the solo because I tend to record using instrumentals. You can just record straight to the camera singing. No need for instrumentals being input into GarageBand and having an expensive mic. You don't need all of that. You could even just use GarageBand on your iPhone, so you could put your headphones in and have the GarageBand app and you could record that way. There's so many ways around it, but yeah, I just like to use something that can get me the best quality audio that I can. Obviously it's not the best and I could invest in a better mic, which I do want to do, just haven't got around to it yet when I've got a perfectly working one here. But yeah, I definitely want to upgrade, but it's one of them things that I've just not done yet, and I do really love this mic and I really recommend it. Obviously you don't need a microphone, and you know, my producing skills, if you could even call them that, aren't the best on YouTube by far, but it's just something I enjoy the process, I enjoy putting it all together, and I just kind of like to be able to put out something a little bit more higher quality. Just makes me feel more confident, I don't know, I just really like it. The second piece of equipment you don't really need because the Yeti does come with a little stand, but it's not anything big. If you want to like stand up and record, you're going to need a mic stand. I have two because I've had like bundles of different microphones, but the one that really works with this is the Editor's Keys mic stand. I will try and link it below, but it's a great microphone stand. You need something sturdy because you don't want your expensive mic flopping on the floor. That would be a nightmare. So also a pop shield or a pop filter, windshield, whatever you want to call it. This just filters out like the sound and the S's and things like that. To be honest, I don't feel like this one actually makes a difference, but people always ask me why I don't use it, but I just don't feel like it makes a difference with this microphone, maybe with others, but yeah, this is a pop filter, not essential. A pop shield, not essential, but if you want to go all out, a pop shield. So with the mic stand, the Yeti just screws in here. Universal mic stands should have like a little screw-in top that you can screw the mic in or screw a shock mount in. And I don't have a shock mount for the Yeti, but I just screw it right in and it stands pretty sturdy. So as for my camera, you don't need to go all out with the camera. I do have a Canon 700D, which is incredible quality, but you don't need that. You just need something that films in HD, because let's be honest, in this day and age, people don't like to watch bad quality fuzzy videos. I know that sounds really mean, maybe, but it's just the way we are. We have so much access to amazing quality that we kind of turn our noses up at bad quality. So iPhones, iPads, smartphones all have HD cameras, so definitely try and film on a HD camera because it makes such a difference, and also in great light. I do have a studio box light, which is amazing. It does let out great light, but it is artificial light. I do find that natural lighting always looks the best, but obviously I live in England and that's quite temperamental, so I do tend to go for the box light and a little bit of natural light. But yeah, these are so cheap. You could even split it with a friend. They usually come in sets of 2. So they're about £45 for 2, but obviously if you split it with a friend, you could get one for like 20 something pounds, and that's quite a good bargain. So if you want a great lighting, definitely invest in a little studio box light. Before I had these lights, I actually had 2 little lights from IKEA. I'll try and link them below because they were actually really great, and they were £6 each, which is amazing. They were quite warm, but I don't mind that. I quite liked the warm look, so I'll definitely link those below if you're looking for a cheaper option. Okay, so next thing is background and setup. I would always say, even though background and setup seems like such a pointless thing, it genuinely makes all the difference. It actually plays such a big part in your video and your views and like how likely people are to click on your video itself. I just have these lights, they're kind of like cool toned curtain lights, and I really do like them, although I don't feel like they're as original as they were when I first got them because everyone seems to be on the bandwagon now. I'm not saying I invented it or anything. It wasn't really a thing people had for covers until more recently. I've had these for like 2 years. If I could give you any advice, I'd say make it aesthetically pleasing. Also, don't copy someone else. Make sure it represents you, because there's no point being a copy. Originality is everything. And as an artist in general, originality is definitely something you should take pride in, or I would think so anyway. And this is how you want your videos to get recognised. So if someone sees that background and you, they're more likely to think, oh, that's Shelley's video or that's so-and-so's video, and they're going to click on it and know what to expect. Do something personal and authentic to you and make it represent you. Like everyone who knows me knows I have fairy lights absolutely everywhere, and I'm just fairy light mad. Also make sure it's not too cluttered, because obviously you want to be, this sounds really bad, you want to be the centre of attention on your videos. You don't want them staring at your pile of dirty washing in the background or your 10,000 collection of water bottles on your bedside table. Get what I mean, don't you? So just try and keep it simple but represent you, and yeah, that's the best advice I can give setup wise. And then the final piece of equipment that I use is obviously my MacBook Pro. I've had that for such a long time. It's quite an old MacBook now, but the main reason I'm mentioning this is because I use GarageBand and iMovie to edit. I don't know how to use any other software, so there's no point asking me from personal experience there because I really can't help. But oh god, I'm moving my hands everywhere. I'm so sorry. Right, I've not done one of these sit down videos for a while, so I'm a little bit out of it. But obviously you need a laptop of some sort, or like an iPad or something. As I mentioned, the software that I use is GarageBand, and for the editing process, like the video wise, I use iMovie. You can get it on MacBooks, iPhones, iPads, is that it? iPods? Just Apple devices. Obviously there are some Windows alternatives like Movie Maker and stuff like that, but I don't have personal experience. I think I used Movie Maker back when I was in like primary school, and it does kind of do the same thing as iMovie, but I think there are just a few added extras on iMovie. I know there's plenty of others, like there's Sony something, Adobe something. and there's like a bunch, in fact somebody commented like a bunch of good recording softwares down in my last video, so if I can find that comment I will link it down below. If any of you have any Windows specific advice and like softwares, please leave it down below and help each other out. Use the comments to help each other out, because that was really handy in my last video, and yeah, it's all a good space. We all need to support each other, help each other out, so yeah, definitely do that. Apart from the odd few differences, the softwares do tend to work pretty similar if not the same, so this video should still be really handy to you, so definitely keep watching. So from here on, this is the step by step, this is the bit that you've been waiting for. So first of all, I find my instrumental. A lot of people actually struggle with this part, and I always get so many questions on how I get my instrumentals, where I get them from, all of that kind of stuff, especially regarding copyright and permission and everything like that. So I am going to try and explain it as best as I can. All of my instrumentals are from YouTube or iTunes, and I just go through and find the one that I think is going to work best for me and the sound that I'm going for and the vibe that I'm going for with the cover. I credit them in the description box every single time, which is really important. So if you're ever wondering what instrumental I'm using and where it's from, definitely check out the description box. I know it can be tricky with the whole copyright and everything like that, but there is ways around it, and YouTube are really handy and helpful for that. So from my experience, what you should always do is ask the creator if it's okay for you to use their instrumental, or check out the description box, because sometimes it always states that they're okay with you using it and they have no problems as long as you give credit. So from the point that you've got permission to use it, what you should do is find out if it's available for free download or an iTunes download. If it is available that way, definitely do it that way, because it's the best way to do it. But if it's not, and the instrumental maker says that you are still free to download it, you need to do that whichever way that you download things from YouTube or from online. You won't necessarily have the rights to this, because obviously you didn't create it, so they may claim copyright, but you're not going to get a copyright strike. It's so confusing to explain. But you're not going to get a strike, but you are going to get a notice. So basically YouTube are going to send you a notice saying you're using this person's instrumental or you are covering this person's song, and they want to claim on it, so they could make money from it. They could either split the revenue or they could take it all and there's nothing you can do about it. They could put ads on it and you don't get anything from that other than the use of the instrumental and the song. You need to always ensure that you're clearly stating that your video is a cover and that you don't own anything, because you can't claim that something belongs to you that doesn't. You don't own the lyrics, you don't own the instrumental, you don't own the melody. There's so much that goes into it, but as long as you're cleared up about it, you should be fine. You're not going to get into any trouble for covering a song, or you shouldn't get a copyright strike for covering a song, as long as it's clearly stated as a cover and that you have permission to use the instrumentals. You may get an email or a notification like a day after or a few hours after, just saying everything that I've just mentioned, really, that the copyright owner is taking ownership of this. This doesn't affect your account standing, but there may be ads running, stuff like that. I will try and, like, if I'm allowed, I don't know if it's allowed, I'll have to double check. I'll try and insert the email. You've got nothing to worry about there. It doesn't affect your account. You're not going to get kicked off YouTube or anything. It's just kind of the way around it. Like on Facebook, videos get taken down because they don't have that process, but we're really lucky on YouTube that we have that. As monetization goes, I monetize through Google AdSense, and basically they put ads in and around your video so that they can like earn money from it. Obviously Google is kind of the same company. They earn money from everything. They take a certain percentage, you'll get a certain percentage, and then if you're covering a song, the artists, the writers, everyone gets a certain percentage. It's not a lot, I won't lie to you. You need to get a lot of views for it to make any kind of difference, because you're literally getting pennies, and all of the pennies come through clicks and views onto the ads. Like I said, you have to gain a lot of views, and usually the threshold is about £60. I don't know what it is in other countries, but for me and in England it's £60. That's the threshold, and then once you reach that threshold, that is transferred into your bank, and then that's your money. You've earned it through ad revenue. And as long as you continue to meet that threshold monthly, you'll be paid monthly. But if you are not reaching that threshold monthly, you will receive the money the next time you reach the threshold. Threshold, how many times do I want to say that? I do get personal questions on the whole money side of everything, and I don't really think it's appropriate to be asked or to kind of speak about it. It's not that big of a deal, it's not a lot. Check my social blade, check everybody's social blade. It's an average of what social blade says, so if you want to do that, do that, but it's not a lot. But I wouldn't go up to someone in the street and be like, how much money do you have? Because it's just not appropriate. So yeah, I'm not going to say how much I get. I get that everyone's curious, I'm curious too sometimes, but you know, it's a personal thing, so I'm not going to talk about that. What I will say is if money is your main reason for starting YouTube, it's probably not worth your time. It's not the be all and end all. You want to be doing YouTube because you're passionate about it, you're passionate about making covers or whatever your channel is about. I know this is about specifically making covers, but whatever you're doing, you know, you need to be doing it for the right reasons, and if money is the main reason why you're doing it, you're probably not going to enjoy it so much because the money comes a lot later and you have to put in a lot of work. Do it because you love doing it and the money is just a bonus. I know I've spoken about all of that for a while, but I just feel like I had so many questions on it that I wanted to make sure I got through everything in detail, and hopefully that all made sense to you. So, next step. Once the instrumental is downloaded, I just plug in my microphone. It is a USB microphone. I don't know if I mentioned that, probably should have done. But I plug in the microphone into my computer. There's no need for any audio interfaces or anything like that. And I go into GarageBand. Now I'm going to put the cutaway up here because this is going to make a lot more sense if you can see what I'm doing. So I open up GarageBand and select whichever project I want to use. I tend to use Empty Project just because it's the most basic and simple to like set up. And then I click the microphone icon, which is just like the instrument that I'm using. If you were recording on the piano, you'd obviously choose that. But underneath all of that, it should say that the Yeti is connected, or whatever microphone that you're using is connected. So once you're in GarageBand and you've got your microphone set up, all you need to do is click the little musical note. So once your microphone is all ready and set up and it's like on a little line of its own, what you need to do is go into the top right hand corner of GarageBand. Once you see the little musical note icon, just click that and your iTunes library should drop down, and that should have your instrumental that you've just downloaded in there. If not, make sure that you drag it into there. All you need to do is drag your instrumental into a new line on your GarageBand project. So like under the microphone, over the microphone, whatever's best for you. And then your instrumental is inputted in and you're able to record alongside it. As you go on, you can add extra lines for an extra vocal track or an extra instrument track. And you can like record harmonies or like extra sounds, whatever you want, and you can make a full-on song out of it, which is amazing. It's an amazing little piece of software to have, and obviously it comes free with Macs or like your device. All you need to do to add those lines is click the little plus button on the top and it should drop down. It's pretty self-explanatory, and once you get the hang of it, you'll be able to like play around and find all the different settings. But I know when you start out it can be so confusing, so that's why I've made this video, answering all your questions and everything like that. Just remember, everybody's voice is different and everybody's voice works differently, and not all mics will complement your voice. I'm lucky that the Yeti does, but a previous mic that I had really didn't. So it's all about personal preference and what works for you. Don't be disheartened if something doesn't sound right. Just keep going, keep working with it, and obviously you can play around with the settings on GarageBand. When singing, again, originality is key. Don't try and pretend to be somebody else. Don't try and copy somebody else's cover. Try and make it as original and as you as you possibly can. Everybody has their own voice, and you should really take advantage of that you have your own unique sound that nobody else has. You can take inspiration from other people, that's completely fine. I do that all the time. But just make it you and put your own spin on your covers, your own style. I definitely find acoustic instrumentals are great for that as well, because obviously you have more room to play around with them a little bit. It's probably the best advice I could ever give, just keeping your authenticity. I love that word, authenticity. And just be you. Just be you and be proud to be you and the artist that you want to be. As for recording vocals, a lot of people ask me what I do to my vocals, and honestly, not a great deal of anything. I literally just record my vocals, I put it on the natural vocal setting, which is a preset on GarageBand, which you will have seen on the cutaway, and then all I do is record. I might play around a little bit with like the compression and the reverb. That's as far as it goes, honestly. Maybe a bit of ambience. Reverb is definitely great for slower songs, less reverb and more compression on the faster songs. That's kind of as far as it goes for me. The reverb basically gives you like the sound of you singing in an empty room, not so much the echo, but like acoustics, if that makes any sense to you. You'll probably understand that when you're decorating your house and you have an empty room, it just sounds amazing to sing in. I've personally never used auto-tune. I don't know how, I don't have it on my computer. I get accused of using it a lot and it's so irritating because I really don't. I'd take full responsibility if I did. Not that I have a problem with people using auto-tune, because I know it's not specifically for faking it. It is for like enhancing your voice, enhancing the sound, everything like that, but I just don't use it. I kind of like the idea that I would sound live the same as I sound in my covers. No disrespect for anybody that uses it, by the way. I'm not trying to come for you. It's just, yeah. So once I've recorded the vocal, I just fade it out, which again, you should be able to see up here. And that is literally all I do. Fade it out, maybe play around with the volumes a little bit so that the instrumental and the vocal kind of goes well together and nothing's too overpowering. Then I go up to the share setting and share it onto my iTunes. So for filming, again, in all honesty, I keep it simple. I don't do too much. I literally just film myself recording on my microphone. You can either do it live or you can do it like a music video if you wanted to and mime it. I think when you do it live, it's more believable, more natural. But if you were to do it miming, it's still your voice, so it doesn't really matter. You're not miming to anybody but yourself, so you're not faking it really. It's just like what people do in music videos. But yeah, it's always more natural to do it live, but honestly, again, down to complete personal preference. I literally just have it on a basic setting, maybe play a bit with the ISO to make it like brighter or a bit more dull, and just record. That's it. I have a memory card in it. Definitely need a memory card. I just kind of press record. It has autofocus on, so I don't need to worry about focusing myself. It tends to focus on my face, but sometimes it might focus on my microphone, which is a little bit annoying. But yeah, I just zoom it in or like position it wherever's best for me. I tend to sit here because this is my best side. Bit cringe, but yeah, that's what I tend to do. If you want to make it easier for yourself when you are merging the clips together, the audio clips and the video clips, you can just clap 3 times, clap once, clap however many times you want. What am I doing? I'm delirious. So by clapping 3 times really clearly, it'll just make 3 identical lines really clear in both clips, the video and the audio clips. That way when you get into iMovie, which is what we're moving on to now, then you will have such an easier job lining it up. You don't have to do that. It's easy enough to line it up without. But if you want to make it easy for yourself, you can do that. And now we're in iMovie. It's so easy. You don't need to worry about it too much. Everyone worries about the syncing it up, but honestly, it's so simple, especially if you do the clapping thing. It's just like when a director has one of those boards, that's exactly what he's doing too, or she's doing. So all you'll do is import your footage from your camera, from your memory card, and you'll just lay that on your iMovie project. Cut out any of the bits that you don't want, like bits of you fidgeting or whatever. And you'll also drag down your project from GarageBand, which you have now saved in your iTunes library. So you will drag that just underneath the video footage that you've just dragged in, and then it's coming to the lining up part. So if you have the 3 clear lines, you can just merge them together pretty seamlessly, but I make it hard for myself and I don't do that. I just kind of find the area where I click record on my laptop, and I just, because I've done it so many times, I'm just kind of used to it now. But you don't have to do that. Obviously you can do the clapping thing, and once you've merged them together, you mute the audio that's coming from your camera, because obviously you want to use the audio that you've recorded on your microphone. Then I fade out the end of the video. I just kind of use like a little transition, and that's me done with my video. I don't do anything too crazy with that. I then go through the video and find like an area of a thumbnail, or I might have like paused for a thumbnail earlier on and kind of like screenshotted that, and that way I have a picture that I'm happy to use for my thumbnail. You can just kind of screenshot a part of you singing, that will work perfectly fine. So then I'll export that, I'll just share it into a file and save it on my desktop or wherever I want to save it. So for my thumbnail, I kind of have a few apps on my phone, or I use PicMonkey, and I just kind of play around with it, put the text on it. I don't do too much to it. I did try that out and it just didn't look right. So do whatever you want with the thumbnail, but one thing is the thumbnail is like people's first impression of you, so make it count. If you have like a good thumbnail, people are more likely to click onto it. It's kind of like your advertisement, so definitely bear that in mind and do a good thumbnail, and you're good to go. You're good to upload and put a good title in, and then like type whatever you want in your description, kind of introduce yourself, introduce your video, and then tag it like absolute mad. So tag everything you can think that someone might search to bring your cover up. Obviously make sure it's relevant, because people don't want to be searching for cat videos and find you singing Ed Sheeran, you know? Well, maybe they do, but you know what I mean. So be sure to tag it appropriately, and then you can go into the monetize section and monetize it if that's what you want to do, and then click publish and you're good to go. And that is pretty much everything that I do. I really hope I got through everything and everything made sense. I know that I was talking so quickly by the end of it, but I don't want my camera to die. So I tried to get through everything, answer all the questions that you've been asking, and put it all into one video. So I really do hope it's helpful. I hope it's far better than the last video, because that last video makes me cringe so much. So please don't watch that anymore. Watch this one, please. If you have any more questions at all, please feel free to leave them down in the comments, and I will try and answer as many as I can. I do try and get through every comment, so just bear with me, and you know, I'm not ignoring you. I'll get to you eventually. but the last video went a little bit crazy, so it took me a lot longer to get through comments as it usually does. Like I said, please watch my covers. It would mean the absolute world to me because I work so hard on them. I'm uploading twice a week, every week. So please, please, please show your support, join the fam. Please don't forget to leave me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this and you found it helpful, because it really helps me out and it helps me get to know what you like to see. And yeah, don't forget to drop a like on my covers, that would mean the world too. And yeah, I'm so sorry if I blabbered on, but I just really wanted to get this video done and help you all out. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video.